Hey there, Laurel Beard here, and today I'm going to show you 4 watercolored backgrounds that you can make for your holiday cards. And each card takes under 8 minutes. One, about 3 minutes. It's true. So today, it's all about the holidays, so let's get right onto it. I am diving into my favorite little guy, the watercolored snowman. His name is Fred. I want you to meet Fred. Watch how we bring Fred to life. If I can paint this, you can paint this, I promise. Start by mixing some color or using some pre-mixed paint that you already have. I'm kind of using a light blue grayish, if you will. I just mixed a little blue and white together, maybe a dab of gray. And then I drew 3 circles, my little snowballs, and then I'm going in and just blending the lines with regular water. I don't want any harsh lines on Fred. Fred doesn't like the lines. So I'll just go in, kind of water that out a little bit. Then I'll take the same color and add a little bit more of it to the left side of Fred's body to add a shadow, if you will, almost. And then again, you can blend out the lines with regular water, and then I'm going to dry it with my heat tool because I am not one to literally sit there and watch paint dry. I'm going to go in and add some twigs for his arms. Now, I'm from Florida. And there was no snow in Florida. Heck no, we had sand, we had salt, we had rain, we did not have any snow. And then 4 years ago, or was it 5, I moved to Connecticut, and that's where I was introduced to snow for the first time. Had a blizzard, loved every second of it. I'm a weird person like that. I guess growing up in a sauna of Florida makes you really love the snow. Right now I'm in New York for a few years, got the snow here too, and my kids love building snowmen. So here I am giving him a nice little black top hat. I used a Sharpie, you'll see it in just a second, for the eyes. I'm drawing in a little carrot, I'm painting in a little carrot. And use whatever paints you have. You don't need specialty paint. You do need some watercolored cardstock though, that's for sure. I'm using a Sharpie to add a mouth, add some buttons, still fiddling around with that top hat. I don't know what my problem is with that hat. I was obsessed with the hat. Fred really needed a scarf, so I'm going to go in with a pink scarf because he is not too manly to wear pink. So I'm putting on pink. I did switch to a fine tip brush. I think this is a number 2, just so I could add some fringe to the little scarf. And then Fred needed some snow to sit on, right? So I'm just going in with, I'm kind of using what's left over in the palette over there, some of the darker colors, to create a little ground for Fred to stand on or sit on. We don't have any legs. I don't know, whatever. There's Fred. I love Fred. And you can change up his hat, his scarf, whatever, make a whole bunch of these. All right, let's move into another one, a watercolored landscape. You guys are going to just flip your lid when you see how easy this is. I'm pulling a teal from the watercolors that I'm using here. By the way, this is the 36 pan watercolor set from Altenew. These are actually student grade watercolors and they're fantastic. So I swiped on some of that turquoise. That's it. That's the background. I'm serious. I told you. Did you flip your lid? All right, so then I'm going in with a Sharpie. Use whatever fine tip black permanent pen that you have. Me and my Sharpie were friends. I do hide the Sharpie from my daughter because I can just imagine my home being filled with doodles with a permanent marker. Anyhow, so I am just going in and creating trees. I'm creating large trees, smaller trees to make you think it's kind of off in the distance a little bit. I'm staggering them a bit. I'm just having a good time. Don't overdo it with the trees. Don't overdo it with your squiggle lines. I have thrown many panels away because I've overdone my trees, mostly when I'm trying to use a brush and watercolor, which is why I've switched to the Sharpie. I just can handle it better. It works for me. But by all means, use watercolor brush, use Sharpie, use whatever you got. And once you're done with your trees and happy, you got to add some snow to this beautiful scene. So I'm using some bleed proof white permanent paint, and I just watered my brush down. It's got some water on it, picked up the paint, and I'm just flicking it on, and it's going to sit on top of the paper and look like snow. I will link to this product and all the supplies I'm using, including the stamped images and sentiments, in the description box for you. But here's a look at this card. Super easy to mass produce. Change out the color of the background and wada bang, wada boom. Ooh, watercolored ornaments are so much fun. Now you can do this a multitude of ways. You can just paint circles on your watercolor cardstock, call it a day. I decided to try to use my acrylic block and I added some watercolor. Excuse the shakiness. Good grief. I hope y'all didn't just get sick. But anyway, I added the watercolor directly to the block, added a little water to it, and then I'm going to mush it down onto my watercolor cardstock. I'm doing this because I never can draw a good circle. It's always wonky. It's not proportional. I just can't do it. So using this round block that I happen to have, really helped me out in getting all the water and making it a nice circle, and then I can go in and add color. I can see what I'm doing because I can look through that block and see how the colors are blending together. So I'm doing it this way. By all means, if you can paint a circle, go for it. I'm going to show you another way where I actually used a circle cutter thing. I don't know what it's called, but I'll show you that in just a second. But for now, I'm going in and I'm using my block. Now I am letting the panels dry, or not the panel, the circles dry before I go in and overlap color, because I want to make sure, you know, that it holds its form and stuff. I will use my brush and kind of move some of that away, because even though you are using the acrylic block like a paint palette and pressing it down, when you lift up the acrylic block, some of that watercolor is on the block and not on your paper. So you will have to use your brush and kind of move it around. But I just like that I can see through it, I can see what I'm doing, and I always get some form of circular proportional shape. I am using colors that like each other, that work well. I don't want muddy looking ornaments. But anyway, you get the general idea. So once you are happy with how your ornaments look, and I am going to accentuate that top one, the middle one, to make sure that that looks like it's sitting on top and the other ornaments are kind of tucked behind it. Now I need to make them look like an ornament. So there's my Sharpie again. I'm going to add the little ornament topper things. I had to go look at an ornament because I couldn't remember what they look like, believe it or not. Whatever. And then I'm going in with a white paint pen. This is a Posca, don't know, linked below. And then I'm just adding some decorations because all ornaments have some kind of decoration on them, right? You know what I mean? So this is it. This is it. 3 little circular ornaments. So easy. Mass produce it. Change up the color. Change up the design. Do whatever you want to do. Bada bang, bada boom. And here's a look at one I made to the right. And you see all those black circles? This is using the Martha Stewart circle cutter. I'm just simply not cutting. I'm actually tracing it with my Sharpie. So here's a look at these finished cards. They're really cute, right? I think so anyway. So do whatever is more comfortable. Trace the circle, use a block, or just paint circles, whatever floats your boat. Watercolor Tree. Now this one is super fun. I'm using some masking tape, sticky notes, copy paper, whatever you can use as a mask if you want a perfectly shaped and proportional tree, or you can totally freehand it, but better safe than sorry. So I've masked off a triangle here to look like my tree. Press down that masking paper really flush down there because you do not want water seeping under your masking paper. But I'm not going to use a lot of water. I don't know why I showed you my dirty water cup. Apparently I felt the need that you needed to see. I'm not using a lot of water here. My brush is very dry for a couple reasons. One, I don't want water seeping under my tree. I've already made this a couple times and I didn't get, with seeping under. I used too much water. So lesson learned. So I'm basically just having a very damp brush. I have a cloth in my hand and I'm dabbing off the brush a little bit, and then I'll pick up the paint. And I want really saturated paint, but by doing it this way as well, I'm also getting the look, like the texture. The brush strokes are leaving me the look of a tree in my opinion. So I really like this, and hey, no water seeping up underneath that masking tape because I'm barely using any water. Just enough on the brush to where I'm able to pick up the paint. Once I'm happy with my tree, it's time to pull up the mask. I'm doing this in real time here. No fast forward. This is the most satisfying part to me. Peeling up the mask and seeing what you're left with. Especially that final pull. Let's do that again. You pull it up and you're left with perfect tree, right? Yay, round of applause. You gotta have a little tree trunk. So grab yourself some brown ink or whatever and add yourself a little tree trunk to the bottom of your tree. Now you can go an extra step and decorate it. You can get some metallic pins or something, foil, whatever, but I like my tree as is, and so I'm leaving my tree alone. So, and this is also something you can very easily mass produce. I stamped a very simple Merry Christmas, and then I'm adding a little ground for the tree to sit in. And bada bang, bada boom, this card's done. Easy to mass produce. You can even make fun colored trees. They don't have to be green. 4 fun watercolor backgrounds that anyone can do. Give it a try. Let me know if you do in the comments. Beginners to advanced, you all can do it, I promise. I have a special playlist I've put together right here. Click on it. It's going to get you in the holiday spirit, I promise. And as my daughter says, be amazingly amazing, and I'll see you next time.